All right, we're on the show floor, or I'm sorry, the hang space, with a real good VIP that I've known for a while. Everyone's followed this dude at Linksbat, and I want to see if I can get your impressions from VMworld 2012 and kind of where this whole industry is going. We've grown up virtualization guys. We've been big fanboys. Now we got a whole new scheme of things that are kind of progressing. If you want to walk us through, introduce yourself, and kind of talk through what your impressions are.
So my name is Nicholas Weaver. I am Office of the CTO for EMC, formerly a V specialist for Chad's Army, and formerly a big VMware customer before that. My impressions of the show is I think this is really interesting that, you know, historically, especially coming from being a customer, you really saw a lot of interest around core pieces of VMware's tech, and kind of like, you know, making ESXi better, making vMotion better, all these cool things. And this keynote was really broad, and that we were looking at things like extended networking, like with Nicira, and extended management of heterogeneous environments like Dynamic Ops. And a lot of the pull-in, a lot of the stuff was less about just expanding the core, but about VMware's acquisitions, about them expanding into the best-of-breed technologies and how they're going to leverage it. And so we still don't know quite what they're doing or how they're going to do it, but the fact that they gave great exposure to the Nicira acquisition, to Dynamic Ops, is really important. And then even if you go to the floor, the amount of technology companies on the floor are not always just a pure play VMware core services. You've got a very wide range and a lot more pure cloud computing companies at presence, which kind of shows this alignment between the classic virtualization model and the new cloud model is kind of merging. And I find it fascinating because VMware's obviously making a big play into it with the OpenStack stuff, and of course Nicira and Dynamic Ops, but also even in their core projects. It's gone from VMware just talking core to VMware talking their special projects to VMware talking all those plus acquisitions and expansion into pure cloud. I find it fascinating, and I'm kind of curious where it's going to be going.
Yeah. Well, you've been working on a lot of interesting projects and different things. Anything you want to share, your perspective on based on what you're working on, or?
I like surprises. Most of my Twitter followers know that. I try not to leak too much. I will be at PuppetConf. So those that don't know, I helped write a project called Project Razor, which is bare metal and virtual metal provisioning very quickly, very fast, and completely dynamic with brokered handover to DevOps tools like Puppet, and partnered very well with Puppet. Some great guys. They have a great booth here if people want to see that. And we've got some new stuff coming with that, and Puppet's got some great new demos, and we want to take that from, let's deploy stuff very quickly with a lot of dynamic options to now let's really get to the meat of building applications and services dynamically with that.
Yeah.
And so they've got some great demos in the booth, and PuppetConf, we're going to do some even cooler stuff that I'm not going to say yet, but let's just say that it'll be the first time it's happened the way it's going to happen.
All right, and this is a little bit of a curveball, but you're the guy who's got the application background of doing some dev, and to me the wild beyond is the modernization of applications. You got vFabric, right, and all these things going on in the cloud ecosystem. And what's your general impression of where that's all going? Do you see vCloud and vFabric and some of the Spring Source, and what's going on in the application space?
I think it's still evolving. I think a lot of the pure Java shops, a lot of the Spring shops, and even the .NET shops that are exploiting the App Director and those kind of tools are absolutely seeing value in it. And there's a lot of real pure plays. I think there's still some evolution there that VMware is going to do, or has to do, for some of the new pure cloud technologies. Some of the real broad Scala, Node.js, Go. So these new things are exploring on the real distributed computing landscape, kind of your Netflix model, your Dropbox model style, right? So the public cloud space gets consumed by startups that do these very broad distributed technologies and distributed code bases, right? And kind of their methods and methodologies are not quite as classic as the classic enterprise architecture consumption. And so VMware's doing really good in this, and I'm interested in how they're going to expand into that next market as well. And that's where I'm waiting to see how that goes.
Well, Nick, you're always a great guy to talk to. Very deep, very next generation, and good luck on the new ventures. Very impressive stuff with Razor and everything else going on. And thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.